12 News Eye on Agriculture with Britton Rucker.
Big changes for American farmers. New rules under the Packers and Stockyards Act aims to level the playing field for contract growers. We'll break down how the USDA's latest reforms are tackling fairness and transparency in agriculture. Plus, women play a vital role in agriculture, from managing finances to handling the day-to-day operations of the farm. How will conferences come to Kansas and how you can get involved. Good evening and welcome in to Eye on Agriculture. I'm Britton Rucker. While the wildfires in Southern California have damaged homes in highly populated areas, some ag communities impacted as well. There are agricultural and ranch lands as you move up into the hills surrounding the LA area. There are reports of damage from farm buildings, fencing, and animals. And it's not just the fires, but the high winds causing that damage. One avocado grower in San Diego says he has lost about 50% of his crops due to the high Santa Ana winds. Major changes in Canada are set to shake up agriculture across North America. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's resignation paves the way for Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre, who's vowing to overhaul policies like the carbon tax, a key issue for farmers. At the same time, U.S. and Canada trade relations face new pressures as President-elect Donald Trump threatens tariffs on one of America's closest partners. Some ag policy experts say Poilievre's no-nonsense style could bring a more practical approach to trade negotiations, focusing on the critical need for Canadian goods in U.S. markets. The USDA just finalized a landmark regulation under the Packers and Stockyards Act, marking the third major reform of the Biden-Harris administration aimed at creating fairness and transparency for contract farmers. A new rule gives poultry farmers more insight into payment rates, stabilizes the controversial tournament system, and strengthens their bargaining power against major meat companies. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack says, quote, "Farmers deserve honesty and certainty for their hard work." The new rule takes effect July 1st of next year. Big news for agriculture and clean energy. Treasury Department and the IRS released preliminary guidance on the 45Z tax credit introduced by the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act. This program encourages the production of clean transportation fuels, including sustainable aviation fuel. And a boost for farmers. Sorghum now eligible as a feedstock under 45Z if climate-smart practices are followed. However, many details of the program will depend on regulations shaped by the incoming Trump administration. U.S. biofuels and corn groups criticize the overall guidance as lacking details on what qualifies for tax credits. The National Professional Fishing League bans technology that takes some of the sport out of fishing. The league banned the use of forward-facing sonar in competition starting this year. The technology allows fishermen to see a live view of what's directly in front of their boat. Traditional or old-school sonar systems only shows a recorded image of what was detected previously. Forward-facing sonars allow fishermen to precisely cast their lures and track fish interaction in real time, which is concerning for both fans of the sport and government officials.
Yeah, the forward-facing sonar is what's controversial, and it's because it makes it like a video game for catching fish.
The tough thing is always how much is too much. Muskies also exist in fairly low population densities, so if we were suddenly catching a lot more and killing a lot more, that would be something we would be concerned about.
Dozens of states looking to ban the technology in order to protect wild fish populations. Right now, there is no agreement between fishing competition organizers on the sonar. Some limit it, while others completely ban it. Farmers and ranchers from across Kansas gather in Manhattan this past weekend for the annual Young Farmers and Ranchers Leadership Conference. Nearly 500 people attended, all coming together to learn, network, and share ideas about the future of agriculture. Highlights include talks by former K-State football star Jordy Nelson and veterinarian expert Dan Thompson. Competitions also took center stage. For all the full list of the winners, visit our website or our app under the Eye on Agriculture section. Southern Minnesota has been hit especially hard by bird flu. Wildlife officials concerns just ahead.